start today sitting in a comfortable seat on the mat. Be sure to pull the flesh away from your sit bones so that you're starting with a stable base, a stable foundation. Start to draw the navel in towards your spine and allow the crown of the head to reach towards the sky. Bring the shoulder blades together and down the back, and place the hands on the thighs, palms up, and close your eyes. Start to become aware of your breath, and allow that breath to flow in through the nose and out through the nose. Allow the inhale to become the same length as the exhale. So as I mentioned, today's class will be focused on twists and just getting the heart rate up a little bit so we can get things moving, get things flowing. And it's said that twists can quote unquote wring out the organs. And that's a little exaggerated. Twists definitely compress the organs. That's why they can be good for digestion, because it can compress areas that might need a little extra help after a large meal. And in some ways, wringing out the organs, when we compress them, maybe it happens a little bit, but think of it more as a compression rather than a wringing out. We say that we wring out the organs to flush them flush the toxins out, to allow space for fresh oxygenated blood to come in. When we do twists, it is important to be mindful of your low back, especially if you're super flexible. When we twist, we want to make sure it always starts at the belly button area and not lower, because we want to keep our sacrum nice and stable. So just take a moment to reflect on your Thanksgiving. Things are different this year, obviously, and I think for some, the fact that traditions have to be put to the side can be very difficult. I've actually found surprisingly the opposite for myself, and I've realized, you know what? Everybody, families have traditions, and you may think that it's not going to be fun or happy without them, but I've realized this year that sometimes trying to stay up on all of these traditions can kind of take the joy and spontaneity out of things. Sometimes we're so focused on making things a certain way. Got to keep up with the tradition, got to make sure we have this and this and this. If we can't get it, we get stressed out. Got to have it for the tradition. But nothing bad happened when we let go of tradition yesterday. We actually seemed to have a more relaxing day. We tried new foods. It was great. So as we continue through this quarantine time, whether it's Thanksgiving or any other time, if you find yourself getting upset because we can't do it like we always did it, see if you can open your mind a little bit and take it as it comes. And you may find yourself surprised. And you may find yourself that these traditions have actually been holding you back a little bit. So let's bring our hands together at the heart in Anjali Mudra. We'll breathe together 3 times, and on the 3rd exhale, share the sound of Om. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Inhale and exhale. And for the 3rd time together, inhale. Om. Bow your head. Place the hands on the thighs. Softly open your eyes, looking forward. So, sitting in Sukhasana, root down through those sit bones. Inhale, lengthen up through the crown of the head. As you exhale, you can tip your left ear towards the left shoulder, stretching the right side of the neck. Inhale, head comes up. Exhale, right ear towards right shoulder. Inhale up. 3 more on each side. Moving with your balanced breath as we warm up the body, preparing for our practice. When you finish, just come back to a neutral neck, neutral spine. Bring your arms by your sides. As you inhale, arms come up. As you exhale, arms come back down. Moving with your breath at your own pace. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. The next time those arms are by your sides, pause there and begin to make some nice big shoulder circles going backwards. And then forwards. Let those arms become still. Place your left hand by your side. As you inhale, right fingertips reach towards the sky. And as you exhale, begin to tip to the left. Slowly bring yourself back up. Place your right hand by your side. Inhale, left fingertips reach tall. Exhale, tip to the right. Slowly bring yourself back up. As you inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, begin to hinge from the hips, folding forward, not bending the back, but then when you feel like you can't go any further, unless your back rounds, time to put the hands on the ground. With the inhale, create length in the spine. Exhale, hinge from those hips, and maybe you can fold a little further. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hinge. So these seated forward bends, they look really easy when you look at them on paper, but your low back is very vulnerable here, especially if you're overly flexible. So just be very mindful of that. Start to walk your hands back towards the body. We'll switch the cross of the legs. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, hinge. Again, when you feel like you need to round the back, hands come down to the ground. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, maybe you hinge a little further. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Slowly walk those hands back towards the body, and we're going to come to all fours, hands and knees. Remember that when we are on all fours, those knees are just hip width apart, slightly behind the hips. Hands are shoulder width apart, and they are slightly forward of the shoulders. So spread those fingers nice and wide and press down through the fingers and the perimeter of the palms. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, shift your hips to your heels, your chest to your thighs, coming to extended child's pose. As you inhale, come back up, all fours. Exhale, back to child's pose. Inhale up, all fours. Continue moving with your breath here. Just warming up the wrists and shoulders, hips and knees, getting a nice stretch in that back. The next time you come up to all fours, pause there. As you inhale, the right arm and left leg sweep out parallel to the mat. Now, if this is too much, you can lower either the hand or the arm. The hand or the leg. So we're reaching through the left fingertips, reaching through the left heel, reaching through the right fingertips. Navel draws in towards your spine. Breathe. Lower the right hand, lower the left knee. Shift back to child's pose, and then bring yourself back up, all fours. On the next inhale, the left arm and the right leg sweep out parallel to the mat. Navel comes in towards your spine. Reach the right heel to the space behind you, left fingertips to the space in front of you. Lower the left hand, lower the right knee. Shift back to child's pose. Inhale up, all fours. Move with the breath here. And the next time you come to all fours, you can pause there. On the next inhale, the right arm and the left leg sweep out again, parallel to the mat. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, you're going to bring your right elbow and left knee together beneath your belly. And then as you inhale, extend them out nice and long. Exhale, draw together. Inhale, extend. 3 more. When you finish, you can lower the right hand, lower the left knee. Shift back to child's pose, and then come back up, all fours. On the next inhale, the left arm and the right leg sweep out parallel to the mat. Take a breath in as you exhale, right knee to left elbow beneath the belly. Inhale, extend. Exhale together. Inhale, extend. 3 more. We're trying to keep the rest of our body as still as possible, really working on that core strength. Good morning, Clementine. How are you? When you finish, you can just lower that left hand, lower the right knee. Shift back to child's pose. And then bring yourself back up, all fours. from here, we're going to sweep that right arm up towards the sky. And then as you exhale, it sweeps back down as you thread the needle through that left arm, left side body. So the right side of the head comes down to the ground. You can keep your left hand where it is to help keep the weight out of the neck, or if you're okay, you can sweep that left arm up towards the sky. Lower that left hand back down to the mat. Press the floor away, coming back all fours. On the next inhale, the left arm sweeps up towards the sky. Exhale, it sweeps back down as you thread the needle through that right arm, right side body. Left side of the head and left shoulder come to the mat. You can keep your right hand where it is, or twist open, reaching it towards the sky. Lower that right hand to the mat. Press the floor away, coming back to all fours. And just take a moment to shift back to child's pose. Come back to your breath here. As I fix my microphone issues. So the inhale and exhale are equal. And then bring yourself back up, all fours, hands and knees. So from here, curl those toes under. Start to shift your hips towards your heels. The knees lift as you press back, coming to Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. So in this pose, we want our hips to point to the back of the room where the wall meets the ceiling. Relax the heels towards the mat. It doesn't matter if they touch the mat, just relax them towards the mat. Relax the head and neck. And then start to bend the knees, go back down into child's pose. Inhale up, all fours. Curl those toes under. Start to shift the hips towards the heels. Knees lift as you press back, downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, we're going to float forward to plank. So you can have your knees up in plank, or you can have those knees down. Either way is fine. Focus on your breath. And then shift back, downward facing dog. Start to walk those feet forward towards the hands, coming to Uttanasana, forward fold. Relax your head and neck here. You can gently turn the head from side to side. Press down through the feet. Your arms start to lift. Once those arms are in line with the ears, use the core, come all the way up. As you exhale, hands come together at your heart. So we stand in Tadasana mountain pose and take a step back with the right foot. Not the biggest step you've ever taken, not quite as far back as a warrior pose. So all of our toes point straight ahead. As you inhale, arms sweep up. And then as you exhale, you're going to hinge forward from those hips, folding over that left leg. Relax the head and neck here. And then place your right hand to the inside of the left foot. Left hand comes to the left hip. You're going to twist to the left and breathe. Slowly come back down to center. Place the hands on your hips. Press down through the feet to bring yourself up. Step forward with the right foot, and then take a step back with the left. All toes point straight ahead. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, hinge from those hips, folding forward, pyramid pose. Take your left hand to the inside of that, or I'm sorry, take your right hand to the inside of that right foot. I think I had you go revolve last time. And then begin to twist open. Ooh. If you'd like, you can reach your left arm to the sky. Lower that hand, and we're going to go ahead and twist the other way as well, because I think on the other side I had you do this way, which is a little harder. So lower that right hand to the outside of the right foot. Bring the hands to the hips. Press down through the feet to come up. Step that left foot forward to meet the right. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, hinge from those hips, folding forward, and step back to downward facing dog. Sweep the right leg out behind you, and then step the right foot forward between your hands. Root down through the sole of the left foot, and as you inhale, arms sweep up, coming to Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. As you inhale, straighten that right leg. Exhale, hinge from the hips, folding forward, and then step back, down dog. Sweep that left leg out behind you. Step it forward between your hands. Root down through the sole of that right foot. Toes point out slightly. Inhale, arms sweep up. Straighten the left leg. As you exhale, hinge from the hips, folding forward over the left leg. Come up on the ball of the right foot. Step back, down dog. Sweep that right leg out behind you. Step it forward between your hands. Root down through the sole of that left foot. Inhale, arms sweep up. Warrior 1. Bring the arms out like a T, palms face the floor. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, begin to twist to your left as you gaze out over the right fingertips. For Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Cartwheel the hands down, one on either side of your right foot. Step back, down dog. Sweep the left leg out behind you. Step it forward between your hands. Root down through the sole of the right foot. Toes point out slightly. Inhale, arms sweep up. Warrior 1. Arms come out like a T. Palms face the floor. Take a breath in. As you exhale, twist to your right as you gaze out over the left fingertips for Warrior 2. Remember to breathe in and out through the nose. Inhale and exhale are equal. Cartwheel the hands down, one on either side of the left foot. Step back, down dog. Start to walk the feet forward, coming to Uttanasana, forward fold. Relax your head and neck here. You can gently turn that head from side to side. Hands come to the hips. Press down through the feet to bring yourself back up to Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, fold forward, hinging from the hips. As you inhale, you'll bring yourself up halfway. So just let the crown of the head reach to the space in front of you. Feet are pressing into the floor. Exhale, fold. Step back to downward facing dog. sweep that right leg out behind you, and then you're going to step that right foot forward between the hands. Root down through the sole of the left foot, toes point out slightly. As you inhale, arms sweep up back to warrior one. So we're going to bring the arms out like a T, palms face the floor. Take a breath in. As you exhale, twist to the left, gazing out over the right fingertips for warrior two. Bend the right elbow. And as you exhale, begin to tip to the right for extended side angle pose. The left arm can slide so that the bicep is right over the ear, or your hand could be on your hip. Whatever allows you to have this open chest is where you should put the hand. So we're going to turn our torso to face the floor. Bring the left hand to the inside of the right foot, and then begin to twist to the right as you reach the right arm up towards the sky. Lower that right hand to the outside of your right foot. Step back, downward facing dog. Sweep the left leg out behind you. Step it forward between your hands. Root down through the sole of the right foot, toes point out slightly. And as you inhale, arms sweep up. Bring the arms out like a T, palms face the floor. Take a breath in. As you exhale, begin to twist to the right as you gaze out over the left fingertips. Bend that left elbow, and as you exhale, begin to tip to the left. The right arm can slide so that the bicep is over the ear, or the hand can come to the hip for extended side angle pose. Start to turn that torso to face the ground. Bringing your right hand to the inside of the left foot, feel free to place it on top of a block, and then we'll begin to twist to the left. I can't quite reach my arm up, so I'm going to place my hand on the hip. Lower that left hand back down to the mat. The right hand goes to the mat as well. Come up on the ball of your right foot. Step back, downward facing dog. From here, we'll float forward to plank. Keep the navel drawn in. If your knees are up, you're going to float forward to the tops of the toes and then begin to bend the elbows, slowly lowering for chaturanga. Sweep the chest through the arms, rising to cobra pose. Shoulder blades together and down the back. Curl the toes under. Shift back, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Start to walk your feet forward once again, coming to Uttanasana, forward fold. Relax the head and neck. Bring the hands to the hips, press down through the feet, coming up to standing. So we're going to take a nice wide stance on the mat. Outer edges of the feet are parallel to the outer edges of your mat. As you inhale, arms sweep up. And then as you exhale, reach as tall as you can and then hinge from those hips, folding forward. Relax the head and neck. Place the hands on the hips, press down through the feet to come up. So we're going to turn both feet out so that the toes face the top corners of the mat. Bring your hands to your hips. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, you're going to start bending the knees, and just imagine that your back is sliding down a wall. Just go as low as is okay for you. Arms extend out. Bend the elbows, bend your wrists. This is goddess pose. So we squeeze the shoulder blades together and down the back here. Press down through the feet, bring yourself up, lower the arms. So this time we're going to do that again, but we'll do something different with the arms. So take a breath in, and as you exhale, begin to bend the knees, sliding down a wall, and then you're going to place the hands on the knees. So here we're going to begin to twist to the left. Bring yourself back to center, and then twist to the right. Back to center. So this movement is occurring at the belly button area. And our hands are against the knees. They can give us just a little bit of leverage. One more time on each side. When you finish, you'll come back to center. Place the hands on the hips, press down through the feet to come up. Bring your feet back to parallel. Step the feet together, arms by your sides, coming back to Tadasana, just to give your legs a little rest. Bring the legs out nice and wide once again. Toes point to the top corners of the mat. Take a breath in. As you exhale, you'll begin to start bending those knees, slowly lowering. Arms come out, elbows bend, wrists bend, shoulder blades together and down the back. Press down through the feet to bring yourself up. Lower your arms, bring your feet to parallel. As you inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, hinge forward. So you're going to place your hand on the floor on your mat right beneath your face, your right hand on the floor right beneath your face. And then we'll begin to twist open as you reach that left arm up towards the sky. Lower the left hand, placing it on the floor or the mat right beneath your face. Sweep the right arm up towards the sky, twisting open. Lower the right hand to the mat. Place your hands on your hips. Press down through the feet to bring yourself up. And then we'll step our feet, coming back to Tadasana, mountain pose. So we'll stand in Tadasana at the top of the mat. Arms by your sides. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, fold forward. From here, we'll step back to downward facing dog. So you're going to take your right hand and place it on the mat halfway between your left hand and left foot, peering out under your left armpit. You can stay just like this, or you can take that right hand to the outside of the left ankle, deepening that twist. Extend that right arm out again, back to down dog. Take that left hand halfway between the right foot and the right hand. My lefts and rights are really bad at 8 a.m., huh? You can stay like this, or take that left hand to the outside of the right ankle. Extend that left arm out nice and long. Start to bend the knees. Go back down into child's pose. Take a moment, come back to your balanced breath if it's gotten away from you. And now bring yourself up to all fours, hands and knees. Take a breath in. As you exhale, round the spine towards the sky. On the inhale, the belly draws down, bottom of the head reach towards the sky. Exhale, round that spine. Inhale, belly draws down. Come back to a neutral neck, neutral spine. So you're going to lift the right knee off of the ground. The sole of the foot is looking towards the sky. See if you can reach back with the left hand and grasp the top of that right foot. Lift the right thigh away from the ground as you press the foot into the hand. Release the foot, lowering the right knee, lowering the left hand. Shift back to child's pose. Inhale up, all fours. On the next inhale, the left knee lifts. Sole of the foot looks towards the sky. See if you can reach back with the right hand, grasping the top of that left foot. Lift the left thigh away from the mat as you press the foot into the hand. Lower that left knee, lower the right hand. Shift back to child's pose, and then bring yourself back up all fours. So we're going to come to seated, and we're going to sit in Dandasana. Feel free to grab a drink of water if you need it, and then we'll just meet in Dandasana, staff pose. So we sit in Dandasana, legs extended out nice and long. So one of the things that I see sometimes in Dandasana that we don't want to do is we flex those knees so hard that our feet come up off the ground. That's a little much. We might be hyperextending the knees there. So we want to relax the knees enough so that the heels remain on the ground, but the feet are flexed. Shoulder blades come together and down the back, and the hands just rest by your sides. Bend the left knee, bringing the sole of the foot to the mat. And then take your left hand behind the left hip. Here it's really important that you're sitting up nice and tall. So you can always put a block under the hand if that helps. Press down through your sit bones. Inhale, grow tall. As you exhale, begin to twist to your right. So you're twisting into your bent leg. Now take your right hand, place it on your left knee. Let that right hand just slide down the leg, finding the pinky toe side of the left foot. And then you're still twisting. You're going to extend that left leg nice and long. So the leg is up off of the ground. You're twisting away from it. So we're going to slowly bend that knee, come back to center. Extend the left leg long to meet the right. Bend the right knee. Sole of the foot comes to the mat, flexing the left foot. Right hand comes behind the right hip. Left arm wraps around that knee. Root down through your sit bones. Inhale, grow tall. As you exhale, begin to twist to your right. So take your left hand and place it on top of your right knee. Let the hand slide down the leg as you find the pinky toe side of the right foot. And then staying twisted, you're going to extend that right leg nice and long. Slowly bend that knee. Bring yourself back to center. So we're going to extend those legs out nice and long, coming back to Dandasana staff pose. Bend the knees, and then you're going to wrap your arms around those knees. And then just rock back, coming to lay on your back. Hugging those knees into the chest. Keep those knees hugged in. Bring the arms out like a T, palms face the sky. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, you're going to twist to the left. So you're tipping those legs over to the left. Left leg comes to the ground, right leg just rests on top of it. A lot of times I'll see students holding their feet up. You can just relax those feet to the ground. If it's okay for your head and neck, you can turn the head to look towards the right. Watch your breath here. Start to draw those knees back towards the chest. Head and neck come back to neutral. On the next exhale, we'll begin to twist to the right. So you'll tip those legs over to the right. Right leg comes to the ground. Left leg just rests on top of it. If it's okay for the head and neck, you can turn that head to look towards the left. Slowly draw those knees back up. Head and neck come back to neutral. Press the soles of the feet up towards the sky and begin to rotate the ankles. Reverse the direction of that ankle rotation. And then let those legs become still. So you're going to start just alternating, crisscrossing at your ankles. As you do that, you'll begin to lower your legs until they're about 2 inches away from the ground. Keep alternating your crisscrosses as you come back up and lower. An alternative to this that's more gentle is to do alternate leg lifts, just lifting one leg, lowering, and then the other leg. The next time those legs come up, you can pause and hug the knees into the chest. Keep the knees drawn in, but bring them out like a V. Take the arms between the legs, grasping the pinky toe sides of the feet, and then guide the soles of the feet to look up towards the sky and rock gently from side to side for Happy Baby, Ananda Balasana. Become still. Take the peace fingers of both hands and grasp the big toes. Extend through the heels, making a nice big V with the legs, and then you can rock gently from side to side. Become still. Start to draw the legs together as those arms come together. Start to lower the legs down to the mat as the arms lower up overhead. Take a nice full body stretch. Bend your knees, placing the soles of the feet on the mat. Bring your feet out as wide as your mat. Hands can rest on the belly, and you're just going to let those knees sway from side to side. Become still. We'll begin to transition into Shavasana, which is the last pose of our class. Get anything that you need to be comfortable here. We'll be in Shavasana for 5 minutes. I'm just setting my little timer because I don't have my watch on. I took a little break from my Apple Watch just because sometimes I get so attached to like having to know every little detail about everything, and sometimes I just take it off and put it down for a couple days. So get comfortable. Legs extended out nice and long. Feet can just flop open. Arms are by your sides, palms face the sky. Arms are a few inches away from the body. Take a nice deep breath in, and as you exhale, just let it all go. Allow your whole body to just sink into the mat. Relax your jaw by creating a space between the top and bottom rows of teeth. Let the tongue fall away from the roof of the mouth and let your eyes just rest in their sockets. Resist the urge to make subtle movements. Allow the natural breath to take over. Rest in Shavasana. slowly start to deepen the breath, becoming aware of the space around you and becoming aware of your body. Start to make subtle movements that feel good, like wiggling the fingers, wiggling the toes. You can rotate through the wrists and the ankles and turn that head gently from side to side. Open the mouth wide to stretch the jaw. And then stretch through the arms and the legs like you're just waking up. Nice full body stretch. Roll to the right side in the fetal position. And we'll stay there for a few breaths. Keeping the eyes closed if you'd like. Use the arms to bring yourself back up to a comfortable seated position. Once you get there, you can bring the hands together at the heart in Anjali Mudra. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me this morning. Thank you for using your body and moving your body, getting that heart rate up and just getting that blood pumping and going. You know, earlier I was talking about traditions and how during this time of pandemic we have to just not do some of our traditions. In my family, a big thing is First Communion, and my older son had a huge party with the whole extended family. We had a science experiment guy here. It was a lot of fun. My younger son just did his First Communion, and we came home and made cupcakes. You know, it's just, you have to go with the flow of the twists and turns of life. And you may even find that sometimes it's not so bad. You may find you like to do something a new way, a better way. And then, when things get back to normal, we can come back to some of those traditions that we love so much. May you be happy. May you be peaceful. May you be free from suffering. May you have ease and well-being. Namaste. Thank you all so much for joining me today. Have a wonderful day.